Hey guys, it's been a while. I know that we've been gone for quite a long time. We made a little video kind of explaining where we've been, but we're back now, and I hope that videos are going to be a tad bit more regular. Anyway, my name is Biel. Nix is somewhere in Co, which is probably why I'm so bubbly and cheery and energetic. And this is a small video about persecutors and how to deal with persecutors, how to handle persecutors. Now, for us, something that's really a really important distinction to make, might not be important for all other systems, but something that's really important for us, is distinguishing between internal and external persecutors. Internal persecutors are alters that will harm people in the inner world. It can be very violent, it can be very graphic. It doesn't always have to be, but I mean, for our system, it has been occasionally. And then external persecutors are alters that will harm the body. Now, the word persecutor is very loaded, and I feel like applying it to both kinds of alters can have some unwanted effects. For example, say that an alter is harming the body because they are in a lot of pain. They're in a lot of pain, maybe they are a trauma holder, maybe they hold a lot of awful memories and they don't know how to cope with them, so they harm the body. They might not be wanting to harm others in the system, but because of the sad connotations of persecutor to mean evil alter, then it might feel like they are being labelled as malicious, they are being labelled as bad, they are being labelled as unwanted. For us, often our external persecutors, we don't like calling them persecutors. People simply call them trauma holders, or an alter that holds a specific harmful coping mechanism, because that's generally what they are. With these alters, what I'd say is work with them and show them compassion. Try and figure out what they hold. It might be really hard and it might be a very slow process. I'd say that having a therapist's help, or if you can't access therapy, which is totally valid, or if you don't have a therapist that works for you, having anyone in your life help them, or even having other alters help them. For our system, it has worked wonders. We have had external persecutors who, some of them are still struggling a lot, but a lot of them are struggling less because they have made friends outside of system, they have discovered other coping mechanisms, or they felt like they don't have to front every time something bad happens, or they don't feel like harming the body is the only way that they can be heard. For a lot of us, a lot of the reasons why stuff like that happens is because some of us feel it's the only way that we will ever get heard, and sadly that isn't untrue. Now, in terms of internal persecutors, for us they are a lot more complicated. Internal persecutors may have some notions about making the system better through harm in the inner world. And I have to tread very carefully here, because there's a lot of information about our system that I'm not allowed to put online. But we do have some very violent internal persecutors. Not all of these are alters per se, some of them are we jokingly kind of call them NPCs. They're not alters in the traditional sense that they take the body, but they exist in the inner world and they may have some kind of sentience or consciousness. We're not really sure. It often can spiral if you try and use the same methods with external persecutors on internal ones. I think a lot of people forget that for some systems' inner worlds, stuff that shouldn't be possible in the outer world is possible. And thus the rules have to be slightly different there. We've had to do some stuff that we're not proud of to stop different parts hurting our most vulnerable members. And a lot of the time, these parts might be hurting themselves. They probably are. In programmed or extremely conditioned systems, a lot of the time internal persecutors will exist and they won't really be able to control what they are doing. External persecutors can also exist in these systems, of course. We're first focusing on internal persecutors right now. Working with these alters is often slow work and it's hard work, but it can be done. Some methods might have to be taken to quickly get them away from the people that they're hurting, some kind of just quickly separate them, but I really would not advise just put these alters in isolation and then just think that will solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. And this is where internal persecutors can become external, because maybe they front and they really don't want to go back into the inner world, back to the place where they are now being hurt. So there isn't a surefire way to work with any alter. There isn't a surefire way to work with any persecutor. But it can be done. It'll be hard work, might be dangerous. I would say that it's definitely a job for some alters and not for others. The people that those alters hurt shouldn't have to be the ones making sure that they don't hurt anyone else. We have some dedicated caretakers and protectors that work with our persecutors. And that has really helped, and we have some alters that are just dedicated to getting our internal persecutors away from the people they're hurting. Now, to kind of round off this video, I want to make it clear. Persecutor is not a helpful label for everyone. If an alter doesn't want to be called a persecutor, if the system doesn't find the label helpful, then don't use it. You don't have to use it, and often it actually isn't very helpful. We like labelling things, so most of our system likes to use it, but it's something that comes with so much stigma that, you know, it's a lot. So don't call alters that hurt others persecutors if they don't want to be called persecutors. And remember that every part of your system deserves compassion and healing. And I mean every part. And if one of those alters is watching, all I'm going to say is you're not judged. You did what you had to do to keep the system safe, but I don't think that job's necessary anymore. Your system is so strong for going through what you did and coming out the other end. But hurting everyone further isn't going to help. Instead, you should channel that energy, that righteous anger, because you have a right to be angry. Channel that anger towards the people that hurt you. And I'm not saying go out and like punch a bitch. I mean, I don't know, I'm not the boss of you. But I'm saying channel that energy into protecting the people that you share this body with. Because life can get better if you have people around you that support you, and if you... I don't want to say life could get better if you work for it, because that's kind of bullshit, because it doesn't always get better, but you aren't judged in this space. I hope that things get better for you. and our Discord is always open if people need to talk, or if you need help with some of your persecutors. You know, it's a long journey, and I can't promise we'll really be able to help much, but, you know, everyone deserves a voice. So reach out to those altars if you can, is what I'm saying. This ended up being much more long-winded than I anticipated. Everyone, stay safe. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, give a like, subscribe, and go check out our TikTok, the Law Sis. Okay, bye-bye.